first of all, I'd like to welcome you here. It really means a lot to us. Tremendous amount of respect from our part and appreciation, probably more than you know, that you would take time out of your summer to come here on a Saturday to try to get better. And as Joe said, this is kind of a good camp because it's short, but all you focus on is technique. Whether it's pass rush, pass protection, leverage, whatever it is. And I think our coaches do a really good job. There's a couple things that I just wanted to touch on with you. Most of you guys, some of the parents probably know Chuck Noll this past away, who was the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Great Steel Curtain, and I think they won 4 Super Bowls back in the 70s. But when I was a young coach, and he was the coach there, I used to go watch the Steelers practice. And I just remember this, that one of the things Chuck Noll used to always say to a player when he made a mistake is he would say, "What were you looking at? What did you see?" And then he would explain to the player how important discipline and eye control is in being able to react the right way and being a good football player. But that was always what he said. What were you looking at? What did you see? Discipline, eye control. And that's one of the things that I want to talk to you about is this word discipline. If you're going to be successful in anything in your life, you really have to have a vision, a goal, and a commitment to whatever that is, whatever you want to be. It's got to be important to you. You can want to climb Mount Everest. Some people want to do that. You can want to be a great track star and spend 1,000 hours taking 1/10 of a second off of your 400-meter time and try to win a gold medal in the Olympics. It doesn't really matter what your vision is, what you want, but you got to be committed to it. It's got to be important to you. And then there's a process of things that you have to clearly define, and most of the time somebody will define it for you, like a coach or your teacher or your parents. This is what you have to do to accomplish that. No different than going on a diet. Some of you guys are big guys, but let's just say me. I want to lose 20 pounds. That's my vision. That's my goal. Well, there's about 1,000 diets out there that define the process exactly of what you have to do to be able to do that. Slim fast. Here's what you're going to eat every day. All right, but the third part of this being successful is you got to have the discipline to execute every day. And that's where most people fail. Something they want to do, it's important to them. They understand what they have to do to do it. But when it comes to executing it every day, implementing it every day, doing the things that they need to do to stay focused on the process and the vision, some circumstance, something happens that they don't have the discipline to execute. So what really is discipline? It's doing what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it, the way it's supposed to get done. Anything you want to define. But here's how I say it to our players. And these are choices and decisions that each one of us, me included, all of you, all your parents, we have to make these choices and decisions every day. Here's something we know we're supposed to do, don't want to do it. Can you make yourself do it? Know you're supposed to study. Know you're supposed to clean your room. Know you're supposed to finish the cone. Lots of things. You've got to make a lot of them every day. Don't really feel like doing it, don't really want to do it, but can you make yourself do it? That's part of discipline. Then over on this side over here, there's something that you know you're not supposed to do, but you want to do it. Can you keep yourself from it? Everybody's going to go out and smoke dope. You know you're not supposed to do that. All your buddies are going to do it. It's against team rules. It's against the law. People get suspended in the NFL for doing it. Whether you want to do it or not, it's not right. You know you're not supposed to do it. Can you keep yourself from it? All right, so these choices and decisions that you have to make is the only way that you can stay focused on the process of what you have to do to be successful. And you know what? You can make 10,000 of them right and make one wrong, and blow your whole future. So this is not something that you can do like that. It's got to be continuous. It's got to be continuous. It's got to be a part of who you are. It's got to be a part of your character. So, I would recommend discipline eye control today. Look at the right things. Challenge yourself and use football to let you develop the discipline you need to be successful in life. The second thing I'm going to talk to you about today is, what kind of competitor are you? How can you sustain your level of being a competitor and compete without being affected by what happened on the last play or worrying about what's going to happen on the next play? Got to be where your feet are. Got to think about what's happening right now. The last play was a bad play. Can't get affected by that. If it was a good play, you got to put it past you and focus on the next play. Because the only thing that matters is how do you sustain your performance over time and finish the game. And there is no scoreboard. It doesn't really matter what the score is at the end of the game. All right, now what I'm going to tell you is very, very obvious, is somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose in some of these drills that you're doing today. So if you're the winner, you shouldn't show your ass. You should focus on the next rep. If you're the loser, you shouldn't show your frustration because you didn't have success. You should listen to the coach, learn how to try to execute better, use that failing experience to try to improve your ability to perform. That's the only way you improve. That's really the only way you compete. You know, you cannot be a good competitor if you can't overcome adversity. And you can't show the other guy your frustration. If you show the other guy your frustration, don't you think he's thinking, I'm winning? Don't you feel like he thinks you're winning? Sometimes it's how you take the guy's best shot that psychologically beats him more than you beating him. I'm going to tell you a story about that. Now, I had a friend, Joe Lipson, who was a middleweight boxer. This was back in the late 90s. And he was going to fight Marvin Hagler, who was the middleweight champion for over 10 years. Dominated the weight class, hateful, tough, hard-nosed competitor, knocked people out left and right. My man Joe is 30-0. He's a big-time underdog, 17-1 odds. Nobody thinks he's getting out of the first round. It's on TV. All those guys talk about is he going to make it out of the first round? Well, he goes and fights the fight. He wins the first 3 rounds. My man Joe, the underdog, beats Marvin Hagler the first 3 rounds. In the 4th round, he damn near got killed. I'm talking about literally. I had to take him to the hospital, pretty much ended his career, really hurt, beat up bad. So, you know, we were all proud of the fact that he won the first 3 rounds. We couldn't figure out what happened in the 4th round. So I saw him at a picnic about 3 months later, and I said, Joe, you were doing so well in this fight. You won the first 3 rounds. I said, did he hit you and hurt you and you couldn't defend yourself? Is that how you got beat in the 4th round? And he said, no. I hit him with my best shot at the end of the 3rd round. I didn't think I could win after that. It never affected him. Hit him with my best shot. It never affected him. And I said, I can't beat these guys. So the point is the champion was the champion not by what he dished out, but by how he received the other guy's best shot. Killed the guy psychologically. So get out of yourself when you're playing, and just because things aren't going well for you, you got to focus on the next play. You can't get frustrated when things don't go well. You can't get entitled or think that things are going to continue to go well if they are. You got to play the next play. And you can't create a bunch of anxiety about what's going to happen 10 plays from now or who's going to win the game. You got to focus on the next play. The scoreboard doesn't matter until the game's over. You can't let it matter. So when you compete out here today, we want to see you compete as a relentless competitor. If you can't overcome adversity, you can't be a good competitor. Everybody Everybody knows what adversity is, right? Something bad happens, you got to overcome it. All right, well, you guys have a good day today. I'll be out here watching you. We appreciate again that you would take the time to come here and get better. And welcome to the University of Alabama. Good luck to you in your season. If I don't get to talk to you again, and roll tide. Thanks.